Alright fellas, how good was that? The fight which no one thought would ever happen, just happened and absolutely lived up to the hype. The fight for all of the marbles where someone's O had to go, and Usyk came out rightly victorious. For a fight with so much unknown, it personally surpassed my expectations on how good this fight could be. The back and forth, the drama, all culminated into an all-time classic. Now I want to talk about before the fight itself, and what lies next for all parties involved. So let's get right into it. Going into this fight, as I said in my last video, I simply couldn't pick a winner. I thought it would go to a decision, yet I thought it could have swung either way. I think the week run up to the fight was pretty much as expected, pretty normal, other than that John Fury thing. It's a fight in Saudi, you're not going to see too much craziness going on. The only thing to note out of the whole fight week was the face-off where Fury didn't look at Usyk, but I didn't think it meant a lot like a lot of the outlets were saying. It really didn't mean anything, it was just Fury being Fury. And that brought us to the big fight night. I won't go over the undercard as I want to focus on the main event, but it was a bunch of solid fights, big upsets and big wins, which then brought us to the main event. Now I think the Saudis always do a pretty good job with the presentation of these big fights and handling the whole spectacle, but why the random rapper performance? I couldn't think of anything less needed. It just wasn't hype. Everyone was just waiting for the fight. It was like, who is this guy? Although I thought the big screen above her announcing the fight was pretty sick. The ring walks were kind of as expected. Fury dancing, Usyk straight to the ring. Nothing overly unexpected. And that brought us to the actual fight. I expected a slow start, and that's what we kind of got. Usyk was punching more through those first two, and Fury was showboating. Now showboating is a signature of Tyson Fury, but I don't think we've ever seen him showboat more than in this fight. He might have been trying to get in Usyk's head in these early rounds, or it could have been Fury trying to hype himself up and convince himself he could win, trying to settle those nerves. After the first couple rounds, Fury got in a groove. He seemed to have figured out Usyk and started dominating. This would continue for a few rounds. Rounds 7 and 8, I think we started to see Usyk regain some steam, and then in the 9th, Fury got rocked heavy and got that standing count. The count since has been awfully controversial. Do I think in a normal fight this would be a stoppage? Yeah, probably. But you're talking about one of the biggest fights on the planet. The ref is going to give the chance to the fighter with the count. Usyk eased off the gas for a second, the ref stepped in, there's your standing count. Fury I don't think was saved by the count, more so by the bell. But this count will go on to win Usyk the fight in some sort of sweet justice way. Usyk would outbox Fury basically till the end of the fight, with Fury recovering and even landing some decent shots on Usyk again in the last couple rounds because Usyk was just tired. Of course, as you've already seen, Usyk would end up victorious. Winning by split decision, Usyk would take home that undisputed title. Now I would have personally scored it 115-112, yet it was an incredibly close fight, but I would still give it to Usyk. In the deciding scorecard, that standing count gave Usyk the win in the end. And after the fight, we had the interviews. From Fury, we didn't get a Joshua-esque breakdown, but it was definitely controversial. Fury said some controversial things about how Usyk's country's at war, and that's the reason he won the fight, yet I wouldn't jump to bashing Fury too much for these comments. Too often now we see these people doing the interviews in the ring, interviewing fighters who just plainly shouldn't be interviewed. I think it was pretty clear that Fury was fairly concussed. I understand big fights should allow him the chance to speak, but when he's yelling Happy New Year, you really got to question how hard he's been hit. So what's next for the both of them? Well, the rematch clause is there for Fury, and he seemed awfully keen in the ring on the rematch. But in the post-fight press conference, he was stating how him and Frank Warren would go back and figure out what's next. But I do see this rematch probably happening before the year's end. I know Joshua's there ringside just in case of a big upset, yet I think there is a real possibility that at the end of the rematch, they just both retire. If Usyk wins again, who is there for him to fight from there? He beat everyone he should, and any other fight doesn't really add to his legacy. While if Fury wins the rematch, we'll probably see them go into a third match, and from there, you're looking at two fighters who are very much in their late 30s, and have their legacy cemented. For Joshua, he will end up facing the best out of Wilder, Zhang, Hrgovic and Dubois on a Wembley card in September, a card which is very much rumoured to include Inoue also. From there, I can't see Usyk wanting to rematch Joshua again, and Fury, if he goes to a third match, might be a bit past it. He wins the rematch, third match happens, from there, will he really be wanting to fight Joshua? He doesn't want to fight him already. I think in conclusion, we are incredibly lucky as fight fans. To see an undisputed heavyweight match of this caliber is something we should all be incredibly grateful for. Usyk was the better man on the night and will return to Ukraine victorious. And while Fury yes put up a good challenge, he will have to go back to the drawing board and work on a plan for the rematch. Personally, I'm very excited to see what's next. It's a very exciting time for boxing with a lot of big fights on the table through several divisions. I think later in the week I'll have a look at what this win means for Usyk's legacy and if he's an all-time great, so hang out for that video. But in the meanwhile, I want to hear what you thought about the fight. I want to hear your analysis, your scorecards, and just any other opinion you have about the fight in general in the comments below. And if this is your first time watching one of these videos, my name is Cloyster and I make boxing and fight sport related content, and I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you would consider subscribing or liking, that would be greatly appreciated. But anyways, thanks for watching and I'll catch you in the next one.